Welcome back to some more Final Fantasy II Pixel Remaster. We are starting over today after losing our progress a couple Mondays ago. Glad to be back into this one. Just want to play through all the Pixel Remasters. Of course, just yesterday, Final Fantasy IV came out, and I can't wait to get to that one, but we're going to get through 2 and 3 first. So let's go ahead and get 2 underway. Yeah, we'll just start with the canon names for everyone. We got Firion, Maria, Guy, and Leon. Let's get it on. Long live peace. Now remember, the text on this goes really fast, so I'm going to have to try my best to read it all. Is at an end. Of course, all of this was added for the version that came out for PS1 many years ago in the Final Fantasy Origins. This is not in the original game. The Emperor of Palmacy has called forth monsters from the underworld and has begun his campaign for world conquest. A rebel army arose in the Kingdom of Finn to thwart the Emperor's plans. But the rebels' castle fell to an all-out assault by the Empire. They did make the text scroll a little too fast, in my opinion. Left a little choice, the rebels withdrew to a remote town of Altair. Well, there's Finn. It's been invaded. 4 youths from Finn also found themselves fleeing the Imperial forces. They had lost their parents at the hands of the Empire. But their escape wasn't over. So here we go, our first battle. That we absolutely can do nothing to win. This is a scripted battle, pretty much. You just die. We can't even hit them. So yeah. We are weak and powerless. It's time to grind. Alright, so the mechanics of this game are absolutely broken. We'll be getting into that very shortly as soon as we get control of our characters. But here we are, being healed by Princess Hilda and the mage Minwu, or Mindu. I don't know what in this translation, we'll see what his name is. Here we go. He will he live? Minwu, okay. In some translations it's Minwu, in some translations it's Mindu. So, this one it's Minwu. He will. I sense a strong life force within him. He should regain consciousness soon. We found them like this on the escape from Finn, fallen from terrible wounds. By the time we brought them here, I feared it was already too late. His life is not in danger. This signal will strengthen his life force. We should let him rest now. Of course. We'd best be off to the meeting. I imagine they're already waiting for us. If the Empire is allowed to complete the dreadnought they're building in Bafsk, their attack will begin in earnest. We cannot sit idly by and watch. We must act. Where am I? Leon? Maria? Guy? Where are you? Firion, you're alive. I thought you'd... I'm fine, Maria. You seem alright too, Guy. But wait, where's Leon? Princess of Finn, save us. But Leon not here. I see. Don't worry, I'm sure he's okay. And this is all controlled by the computer here. Good old auto walk. So you've regained your strength. Very good. Your life force is strong indeed. It was you who saved us, wasn't it? Thank you. Forgive me, Your Highness, but there is something I must ask of you. Please let us join the rebel army. I could never allow such a thing. You know nothing of battle. You would only be throwing your lives away. You should return to your homes. Yeah, about that. But we have no homes, not anymore. The Imperials attacked, and our parents... I am truly sorry, but that changes nothing. I cannot permit you to join our army. If you're nowhere else to go, you're welcome to stay here in Altair. If you know our password, you should be able to live here well enough. The password is Wild Rose, remember it well. So something unique to this game, and no other Final Fantasy game does this. There are keywords. You need to hit learn. You learn the keyword, and you can ask people about the keyword, and they will have special text, or it even sometimes will advance the plot, and is absolutely necessary to learn said word, or you will be stuck forever. The Wild Rose is insignia of the Kingdom of Fen. It represents our hope for a flourishing future and strength and beauty. But what will become of Fen now? I've heard that the Empire's captives suffer there in confinement even as we speak. Maria, your brother Leon is missing, is he not? It's possible that he's being held in Fen as well. But Fen is far too dangerous to travel to now. The Emperor's beasts still stalk the streets. Gaining entrance to the city will not be easy. The man at my right is Minwu, the white wizard who tended your wounds. Speak with him before you leave. He may be of some assistance. Alright, well, let's talk to Minwu over here. Yep. I see your destiny clearly. The future it holds seems closely entwined with my own. You will begin a journey to Fen. That is the first step towards realizing your fate. You've wasted no time in using the password. Heed well the information it will bring you. You can learn much of value by listening. I offer you one more bit of advice before you depart for Fen. Those who have fallen in battle can be revived at a sanctuary. Should one of you fall before you reach Fen, go without hesitation to the nearest sanctuary. Okay, just like the first game, there are sanctuaries where you can revive fallen teammates. Let's see what we got around here. What's in here? Ah, the king. An arrow struck me in the back during battle, leaving me in this state. Perhaps I really have grown old. My daughter Hilda now serves as a regent. You should speak with her. We already have. But thank you. Now, unique to, well, what's not in the original game for the Famicom, is this room. A room of tutorials. All these guys are going to tell you about different mechanics of the game. There's so many of them, I don't really want to talk to them all, but yeah. This guy teaches us about weapons. We can dual wield in this game, which is cool. Yeah, just different mechanics of the game. I pretty much know what's going on, although the mechanics of this game are busted and confusing as heck. But we'll keep getting more and more into those mechanics as we go along. We got a potion here. Always a good thing to have. Also, in the original version of the game, you could only equip, and I believe also the Origins version for PS1, you could only equip 2 items per character. You didn't have access to your entire inventory of items. So that's something that's different with this version of the game. I do know you have access to your entire inventory during battle, outside of battle, all that. So, first things first, let's go through the equipment and what we got. Now, in this playthrough, and I have to give a big shout out to H.C. Bailey because I knew nothing of how the mechanics of this game worked or the stats of this game worked until I watched his playthrough. So you might, if you've watched if you're a fan of H.C. Bailey and you've watched some of his playthroughs, you might see some similarities in how I'm going to go about the game. I'm not going to completely just follow exactly what he did in his playthrough. That would be kind of silly. I have my own style and things I want to do, but for the most part, a lot of it comes from that playthrough I watched of H.C. Bailey. The first 2 times I played through this game, though, which would have been the Final Fantasy Origins version, I had no clue what was going on or how to do anything. And because of that, this is probably the hardest Final Fantasy I've ever played. But if you look, we got our stats for Furion. They're pretty basic. 10, 10, 10, Strength 10, Spirit 10, Intellect 10, and so on and so forth. He's pretty much a blank slate that you can do whatever you want with, except he has pretty low magic, right? Maria actually has the highest starting agility and the highest starting intellect. We will be making her a mage. Now, she starts out with 5 magic as well, but that will definitely go up as we use magic. In this game, how do you say? As you use things, that stat will increase. There are no level ups. There are no experience. The weapon skill over here to the right is very similar to Secret of Mana, another great game by Squaresoft that I absolutely love, that we will definitely be playing on stream sometime. Secret of Mana is a great game, and I love it a lot. And yeah, the weapons level up pretty much like they do in that game. You use them, and they gain levels as you use them. So weapons you don't use will not be gaining levels. Guy here, well, he has the highest starting stamina and strength. He's kind of a blank slate too, like Furion, but he has pretty low agility. We're going to be making Guy kind of a monk. We're going to be going bare-fisted with Guy. And we'll probably be using quite a bit of white magic with Guy as well. Whereas Furion, we won't be using any magic. We're just going to be going sword and shield strictly for Furion. So another one really weird thing about this game too is if you unequipped your armor, it actually raises your evasion. Now we want Furion to have the highest evasion as possible, so we will equip him with nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, except for his sword and shield, no armor, nothing. We want his evasion to be high evasion. How the stats work on agility. Agility is a very important stat for Furion specifically. And we want him to raise his agility. So the higher your evasion, the better chance you have of gaining agility points in battle. When you attack, you have a chance of gaining strength. When you use magic, when you use black magic, I should say, you have a chance of gaining intellect. And we want Maria to have absolutely nothing. And Guy to have absolutely nothing. And we're going to sell all of our other equipment to buy some other cool stuff before we head on out. So let's go to the magic shop, because that's the first thing we want to do is buy some magic. I don't want a fire tome, because we will be finding one of those, so we can save our money there, but I do want a thunder tome. I do want a blizzard tome, and I do want a cure tome. And that's all of our money, but we have stuff to sell, so not a problem. Now, I want Maria to be our black mage, so she's going to learn thunder, and she's going to learn blizzard. Cure is going to go to Guy. Alright. And this is the sanctuary here. If we end up having someone to die, we can come get them revived here. Alright, now let's go sell our stuff off. We'll go visit the weapons shop real quick. And talk to this old man right here. What do you want with me? I'm just an old man. Tobal here. He's just an old man. Nothing special. Unless you use the password, and you go, the Geezer Act is just a cover. My name's Tobal, and I'm the best darn blacksmith in the Rebel Army. So yeah, he's the blacksmith. We can buy weapons here, but we don't need to buy any. What we do need to do is sell some stuff. I want to sell one of our broadswords, one of our bucklers, all of our leather armor, the bow, the clothes, the axe. Keep the potion. Now, in this version of the game, as compared to the original version, they have made the prices of things a lot lower. And notice we were able to buy 3 tomes with the starting gil. In the original, I believe like each tome cost like 400 gil, whereas here it's 150 for the black magic and 100 for the cure tome. Let's talk to this guy. His name's Paul. I'm Paul, the greatest thief in the world. They've yet to invent the loot I can't burgle or steal. The Imperial coffers have kept my purses fat with gil lately. I never steal from the rebels. You can be sure of that. My home is Finn 2, or was Finn 2. Another important character is Gordon. My name is Gordon. I was once the Prince of Kashwan. Now I'm nothing but a coward. When my brother Scott fell in battle, I abandoned my kingdom and fled here. So you've asked to take up the arms in the struggle? I'm so afraid Hilda will turn me away that I haven't even asked her. I've been stalling here. I'm just a spineless coward. Go ahead, laugh. I deserve it. Wow. Jeez. Let's see. I don't think anyone else really has much to say that's important, but we'll talk to all the NPCs. Paul's a skilled thief, but don't worry, you can trust him. He only steals from the Imperials. You know, that's what he said. I believe him. Tobal, the fellow over at the weapons shop, is one fine blacksmith. I think something's been bothering him lately, though. This is the town of Altair. The Imperial forces haven't been deployed this far out yet. I suppose it's only a matter of time, though. We are quite a good distance away from Finn. It's kind of a journey, and we're really low level, or really low stat-wise, since there are no levels. So what we're going to do is grind out a few battles. And in this version of game, they've seemed to make it a little bit easier to level up. So we're going to fight here. Also added to this version of the game is this: defend, row, and flee. Of course, there was a flee in the original game, but you could not change your row in battle, and you could not defend in battle. You had to attack in some way. So, we're going to be casting magic on our party. This does two things. It levels up our magic, because everything is per use leveling up, right? So every time we use our magic, it gains a little bit of a level and strengthens. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be casting magic on ourselves, and by doing that, we're also going to be leveling up our hit points. So you have to take damage in order to gain more hit points, and you have to use magic points in order to gain more magic points. And it all comes down, unfortunately, also to luck. There's a bit of RNG involved in how you gain your levels in this game as well. Furion missed. Maria's poisoned. Well, we want to put an end to this one now, though. Let's go ahead and cast Blizzard on them and have everybody all-out attack. Okay, so we killed them, and we'll have a chance now. Furion, look, he gained a little bit of level for his sword and shield because he attacked. Even though he missed, he still gets credit. Maria's HP and MP increased, as well as stamina and magic. So that's all good. And nobody else gained anything. Okay. So, outside of battle here, we're going to use Guy to use Cure. And we won't need to use Cure during battle unless we absolutely need to, because we'll get plenty of cures outside of battle to level up. Also, unique to this game and no other Final Fantasy game is how the inns work. So there's not a set price to the inn for a night's stay. Right now it costs 8 gil. Now how they figure that is each point of MP you're missing from your total MP counts as 1 gil. And then like there's a certain calculation for HP, like divided by something, you know, it adds it all up and divides it by a number. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but just know that life you're missing and MP you're missing, that's how they calculate how much the inn costs stay. And that's for every inn in the world. And it's a weird mechanic, but I guess it's cool. It's okay. So most of the time, every time you stay at an inn, it's going to cost a different price. That's just how it works. All right, so we rested. And yeah, we're going to have to fight a few battles before we can move on because, well, we're too weak to take on the Empire in our current form. We're going to try the same thing again, cast Thunder on ourselves, and have these two guys fight. And Furion cannot hit anything right now. We'll just single target a Blizzard spell. And Guy hasn't even had a chance to fight but once. But the good news is if you dual wield a weapon, and Furion's sword and shield level up. So you see, in this version of the game, you level up things a lot faster than you do in the original version of the game. It would take a lot more attacks than that to level up if this was the original game. We got some HP and MP, or HP and stamina increases. And look at that, an intellect boost for Maria, which is really the most important stat we want to level up for Maria, is her intellect. Also magic, but intellect's even more important. She got some HP and MP too, and Guy got nothing. Let's try another battle. I do want to talk about some of the very, very positive things about this Pixel Remaster too. The look of the characters is much improved over the original, and obviously, as always, the music. The music is absolutely just chef's kiss. Brilliant music. Cast Blizzard on the party this time. Now we've done enough damage to ourselves where we're pretty much got the best chance we can of actually leveling up some stuff. Strength for Furion, MP and magic for Maria, and strength for Guy. Still no HP for Guy though, that just goes to show you the RNG involved in the leveling up. Like, even if you use a stat, there's not 100% guarantee that you're going to get that stat leveled up, which is just unfortunate. So, every playthrough of this game is going to be different with the stat ups. I guess the next thing we need to talk about battle-wise are the status effects, because it's another thing that's unique to this game. There are two versions of every status effect. One that only persists during battle, and one that persists outside of battle. So one's called Venom, one's called Poison. So you see we're getting the Poison effect, but once we get done with the battle, it goes away. I believe that's called Venom, and Poison is the one, I believe, that persists throughout after the battle into the world map. And as you walk, you'll take poison damage, like every other Final Fantasy, basically. Except for 7. Final Fantasy 7, none of the status effects persist outside of battle, which is an odd and unique thing about Final Fantasy 7. So, I guess we've leveled up well enough for now. I kind of want to keep leveling up our HP, though, if we can. Because Guy hasn't gotten any HP increases yet. And Maria didn't even get a chance to cast Thunder. Now, there's another exploit in this game that was in the original that I do not believe is in this version, and that is, and I'll talk about it right here. If you select attack, select the target, and go to the next person, then cancel that action and select attack again, that will actually count towards leveling up as different attacks. I don't believe this version of the game has that exploit in it anymore. I believe it has been taken out. I'm not 100% positive it has, but I think it has. And even if it was in the game, I would not be taking advantage of that, because just basically battling, especially because they made it faster to level up in this game than they did the original game, I don't believe we need to take advantage of that exploit. Also added to this game that wasn't in the original game is auto-targeting. So in the original game, you could, if you targeted an enemy, like this Hornet, with Therion, and then I targeted this enemy with, say, with a spell, with Maria, and then I targeted this enemy with an attack by Guy, well, they would all keep attacking that target even after it died, right? So they would just attack an empty spot. Same thing with the first game. The first Final Fantasy was the same way. Auto-targeting did not come into play until Final Fantasy III, the game after this. I believe Final Fantasy III was the first one. I know for sure 4 has it, and I'm pretty sure 3 had it as well. Therion got some HP. Guy is not getting any stat increase, which is weird. Normally, Guy gets the most HP pretty quickly and early in the game, but not this playthrough. He's like, no, I don't need no more HP. I'm good. Alright, we come to Gatria, a little town halfway to Fynn. Let's talk to the residents here. This is the village of Gatria. Fynn is just over there across the lake, see? It's very close to Fynn, and it's a wonder that the Empire has not tried to take over this little village. I guess they think it's just small enough town that it really is of no consequence. Gatria and Altair haven't fallen into the clutches of the Empire, yet. But once the Dreadnought is complete, nothing will be able to stop the Empire. And we don't want that to happen. The Imperial forces have occupied Castle Fynn. The gates are drawn, and no one can enter. And with Imperial troops and monsters roaming the streets, the city isn't better off. There's a pub just on the outskirts of Fynn. When the Empire invaded, the barkeep didn't make it out in time. They say he's still working out there. Or still working there, pouring drinks for the Imperials. Aha! So, as in most Final Fantasies, it is very important to talk to all the NPCs. You'll get little hints of what you need to do. So, this guy gives us a big hint about the pub on the outskirts of town. We don't remember that. This right here is a sanctuary to revive your teammates. And of course, we got item shops, inns, weapon shops, armor shops, and I don't think there is a magic. Actually, I don't think there is no magic shop in this town. Okay, but we want to go stay at the inn, replenish our HP and MP. It's gonna cost us 7 gil. So you see, if you use the cure spell, you can actually really lower the amount of gil you have to spend at the inn to stay the night. All right, well, let's go ahead and head on out. Let's save our game. We haven't got a save yet. Yep, that was the game we were playing 2 Mondays ago and lost power and lost all the recordings. So let's pray that doesn't happen again. All right, still some pretty basic enemies. Want to keep attacking ourselves just for the chance of maybe gaining some HP. I'd really like it if Guy would gain some HP. That would be awfully nice. So this game can be a bit grindy, but you can also kind of grind as you go. You don't there are only very few points in the game where you have to like stop and really grind. You know what? Cast a Cure Spell on the enemy. I want to try to get some more MP for Guy. Alright, Furion's starting to block stuff. That's what we want to see. We use Thunder, we use Blizzard. Just defend. And you attack. There we go. Let's see if we can get an HP level up. Furion, HP. Guy finally gets some HP and some MP, as well as stamina and magic. Very good. Not so worried about the magic stat for Guy, but spirit stat is the stat attached to white magic. I don't want to forget. No, jeez. They make it almost too easy to forget a spell. Let's use Cure a couple times and go rest back at the end again. So this game can be a bit grindy, but this version of the game making things easier to level up. It seems like magic, attacks, all of our stats seem to level up a bit faster in this version of the game, which I do appreciate them incorporating that. The original game's a lot more grindy than this one. Of course, I haven't talked about it yet, but the original version of this game only came out on the Fanticom in Japan and never made it to the United States, or I don't think anywhere else outside of Japan. So we didn't get this game here in the US until, what year was it? Like 2002 or 3, I think, when Origins came out. I think that's about around the time, maybe a little early, maybe like 2001. Sometime around then. That's when I played it, was around that time, so. Yep. It was a long time after this game came out, I believe in the late 80s? 88, 89 when this game originally released. So, over 10 years. Oh, let's see, what do we want to do? Just attack. Keep attacking. Keep leveling up those fists! Give you the Fist of Fury. Let's have you defend. I want to use Blizzard, and you defend as well. Attack, defend, attack. I'm gonna try to use both Blizzard and Thunder each time we have a battle. And look at that! Furion already leveled up his sword and shield again. And we got a Thunder level up. A little bit of level up for stuff for other people, not a lot. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and try to head on defend now. I think we've leveled our stats up. Quite enough for now. We'll go Blizzard all and cast Cure out here. I want to try to get some more MP for you too, Guy. Alright, Blizzard leveled up and Cure leveled up. Yep. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future to level up Guy's Spirit and MP, but just thought maybe give him a couple shots in battle to get that done now. A little early on. But yeah, everything's leveling up so much faster, I don't think we need to grind as much as we would if this was the original version. Thunder, I guess, and you just attack. Also, something really cool about this game, it's a really cool thing, is that as the magic levels up, you actually start to get, every so many levels, you'll get a new animation for the spell. So that's pretty cool. And the more it levels up, the more impressive the animation is. So we'll get to see that throughout the game as we level up our magic. It's just as we've heard, the city is crawling with Imperial soldiers. We have to be careful. Make sure not to get too close. Goblins! Cast some Blizzard. And yeah, the town's crawling with guards, but as long as you don't go up to them directly and talk to them, you're just fine. You use Blizzard last, so let's use Thunder then. somehow Guy gained HP for no reason. It's kind of random. The stat gains in this game can be kind of random. Just the way it goes. Yeah. Let's see. Let's use Blizzard this time. Some more stat gains. Always good. Just gonna alternate with Maria between Thunder and Blizzard and level them up as we go. Also, if you'll notice, the MP costs increase as they level up. So on level 1, it costs 1 MP. On level 2, it costs 2 MP, and so on, etc., etc. It just, each time it levels up, it costs 1 more MP to cast, and is more powerful. Whoa, where do you think you're going? Customers aren't allowed behind the counter? These Imperials are as ill-bred as they come. Ah, you're with the rebels. You'll find a secret door in this wall. There's a wounded soldier back there. Go and see if you can help him. What am I going to do? I've had it with this place. You guys can take it from here. Don't let us down. And there he goes. Down here we find 3 treasure chests and a guy in a bed. Potion, and another potion. Are you going to turn me over to the Empire? At least have the decency to kill me first. I don't want them to take me alive. So, you're rebel soldiers, are you? My name's Scott. I am Prince of Kashuan. Prince Scott. This is Fear again. Prince Scott, we were told you fell in the battle. Thank goodness you're still alive. I am, but not for much longer. I'm afraid I must ask a favor of you. There's something you must tell my brother Gordon. Tell him I know he has great strength. He must learn to have more faith in himself. I also have a message for the king. Tell him the reason Finn fell so quickly is that Count Borgen betrayed us. He's been made a general in the Imperial Army. There's one more thing. Tell Hilda that I love her. No, don't deliver that last message. The confession of a dying man, they would only bring her pain. My brother Leon, have you heard of him? I'm sorry, but I have not. I wish I could be of more help. Here, I want you to take my ring. I'm sure it will be of use. Maybe it's all this talking, but I've grown extremely tired. If you'll excuse me, I just need to rest just for a while. And by rest, he means rest in peace. RIP. And you will see that as a common theme throughout the game. We are going to meet people, and they're going to immediately die after doing something for us. That's the theme of the game. You obtain Scott's ring. It happens over and over and over throughout this entire game. And I know that what they were trying to do was, make the stakes of the game seem higher, right? People die in this game, and they don't come back. Unlike some Final Fantasies, where you think they're dead and... Just kidding. They're not actually dead. One criticism I do have is this. They doesn't show you what level your magic's on, like how close it is to leveling up. So I don't know if I've used Thunder or Blizzard more. So I don't really know which one to use. So I'll just use Blizzard. Let's go with Blizzard. MP and magic up. We can just walk straight out of town here. And back to Gatria. And then to Altair. Yeah, let's see. We used Blizzard last, so let's use Thunder. And well, Maria's gonna be taking over here, and we're gonna be leveling up our magic without leveling up our fighting, which we might have Maria defend a few times, but yeah, she's using up most of her MP anyways, so let's have Maria defend this time. defend, attack. Now, we don't want Maria to attack ever, because if you attack, you have a chance of gaining strength, but you also have a chance of losing intellect, and we don't want Maria to lose any intellect. We want her to have as much intellect as possible. Let's go ahead and rest here. Should probably use the cure spell to make it cheaper, but oh well. Continuing forward. Back to Altair. Ah, just one enemy, huh? So we've leveled up our magic pretty good for this point in the game, so we're just gonna try to fight instead of using magic here. Now you'll notice we kind of stopped leveling up our weapon skills because each set of enemies have like a different. There's so much of this game's mechanics that are just no way to know how it works. It just kind of works that way. And look here, guy got a big HP boost, loving it. But yeah, like each set of enemies has a different ranking, and you can only level up so much on each type of ranking. It's odd. It's a really odd. This whole game's mechanics are just broken and odd. Very, very much its own unique game, though, and how it all works. No other Final Fantasy is like this game in any way. This was obviously something that they were experimenting with and trying something new from the first game. And I gotta give them props for taking the risk and doing what they did with this game. After the success of the first Final Fantasy, they could have just made a different world map with different characters and put it right out there with the same battle system, and I don't think anybody would have complained. But they were like, you know what? We want to try something new and make it even better, even though they didn't make it better, but that's neither here nor there, because they realized the mistakes they made with this game, and from here on out, I think the game's pretty much, the next few consecutive games just got better and better and better and better and better. 3 was better than this one, 4 was better than 3, 5 was better than 4, and 6 was better than 5. So up until that, they really progressed and fleshed out exactly how they wanted their games to be and really hit their stride after this game. So without this game, doesn't come some of the best classics. 4, 5, and 6 are some of my favorite games of all time, and definitely some of my favorites of the entire Final Fantasy series. Now, in junction with the keyword system that we have to learn and ask people, there's also key items like Scott's ring we just got. So we just got Scott's ring, and he was in love with Hilda, so I'm pretty sure she was in love with him as well. We're going to show her the ring, and she's going to say, "That ring belonged to Scott. Is he alive?" "He gave us the ring and Finn just before he lost the last of his strength." Did he say anything?" "No, nothing." I know he said not to tell her, but how could you not tell her? Like, he loved you, he cared for you, he wanted to be with you. I know it'd probably hurt her, but I think it would hurt her more for you to say, "No, he said nothing about you, he didn't mention you in any way, shape, or form." Just, it stings a little bit. "Your Highness, please, the ring belongs with you." "No, keep it. It suits a personage of it suits a personage of courage. You infiltrated Finn and returned to tell the tale. You've proven yourselves quite capable. It would seem I underestimated your strength. I would have you lend your strength to our cause. There is a magical metal known as mithril, and we need strong warriors if we are to obtain it." So we want to learn, it's a keyword. All the keywords are highlighted in red. So we're going to learn mithril, and then we can ask her about mithril, and she's going to tell us a little more. We lost Finn because we were ill-equipped. The Empire fought with weapons and armor made of mithril. I have charged Joseph, a man living in Salamand, with the task of finding a source of mithril. I do not know the cause, but we've been out of contact with him for some time now. Would you go with Midwu to Salamand to look into this?" "Absolutely." So talk to Minwu, and he says, I heard Her Highness's words and have waited here for you since. To reach Salamon, we must first pass through the port town of Paloom. Take my canoe and let us be on our way. So, we get Minwu to join the party, and he is OP as all get out. Minwu is like the ultimate white mage. He has all the white magic spells, and they're all leveled up to pretty high levels. So, yeah, Minwu is insane. Insanely strong. Also, something they did with this game that they didn't do with the first game was try to make a story. The first game, the story is really weak and almost non-existent. This game, they really tried and actually made a pretty good story. I definitely will say that I like the story of this game better than the story of the next game. Although the gameplay of the next game is far superior to the gameplay of this game. So it depends on, you know, like, what you look for in a game. Is gameplay more important to you, or is story more important to you? Because if story is more important to you, then you might really like this game. This game has a decent story. It's not great, but it's pretty good. If you can find some mithril to give our blacksmith to Bull, I'm sure he'll be able to make some amazing weapons. Oh, awesome. So not only are we looking for mithril, but we can have the blacksmith make us some mithril weapons. And of course, mithril weapons are pretty good. You should be able to use that canoe to cross the lake to the east and reach the port of Paloom. So yeah, I was talking to a few NPCs we missed the first time through. They actually would have said something different if we would have talked to them before, and it wasn't very useful. But, you know, now they give us some actual kind of useful advice. There's no more magic we need. Let's see. Yeah. He says something different here too, doesn't he? About, you ought to be able to catch a ship headed to Poft if you go to Paloom. Once you're in Poft, head north, you can't miss Salaman. Alright, so yeah, we're going to Salaman to see Joseph about some mithril. Let's talk to Scott here. He has some, or Gordon, Scott's brother. He has some different things to say here. My name is Gordon. I was once a prince of Kashuan. Now I'm nothing but a coward. Well, that's all the same. But if we show him Scott's ring, that ring, it's my brother's. He really said all of those things about me. There was a mithril sword in Kashuan that had been handed down through the ages. My brother was very fond of that sword. It truly was a magnificent blade. So yep, he says a couple different things, and there's a lot of characters in this game. If you use the keyword, will have different lines of dialogue than they did before, which is a really cool thing they did with this game. Oops, I meant to ask him about mithril, not show him the ring. If I had some mithril, I bet I could make some mighty impressive weapons and armor. Yes, and he can indeed. He's not lying about that. Alright, well, now that we have Minwu in tow, there's some cool things we can do with Minwu. And adding the defend command in this game really makes this easier to do a little bit of the grinding we need to do. Now, with Maria, we pretty much don't need to grind any MP. She has what she needs. We could probably use some more HP for Maria, but MP were pretty good. So let's go ahead and Thunderize anyways to get everybody's HP a chance to level up. You just defend, and there's a certain spell, Sap. Okay, Sap reduces MP. We can cast it on our characters to actually gain MP for them, max MP. So yes, it will reduce their current MP, but it will give us a chance to gain max MP, which we need some more. We need some more MP for Guy. He's going to be learning some spells here in the near future that we want to have plenty of MP to be able to cast. Let's see, let's have you attack. Let's have you cast, what did I cast? Thunder? Last one, cast Blizzard on ourselves. You defend again. Yeah, you defend. And you cast nothing. You just defend. And you defend this time, you defend, you attack, and you defend. Now hopefully Guy's max MP will go up since we used it all. Firion got some HP. And it's agility point for Firion. Very important, very good. We got some HP for Maria. Very good. And we got HP and MP for Guy. Absolutely, exactly what we wanted to see. Minwu even gained some stuff. Alright, cool. Now let's go into magic for Minwu and use cure on everyone. He's got a level 7 cure, so we go immediately all the way to full HP. I want to see how much we got out of the MP. So Guy got up to 21. That's pretty good. I'd like to see... Guy and Maria really don't need much more than over 100 MP for the entire game, so... we can level up as we go. But yeah, the sap spell is really good for leveling up MP. We're going to do that again, actually. Cast sap on Guy. Sap him of his MP, and then just have these guys attack. Alright, so he gained a little more MP, a little bit of magic. And he has no MP. We might do that to Maria too before we get into town, if we get another battle before town. Which we didn't. Alright, so this is Paloom. Nice port city. We'll go ahead and explore it after we rest and get Guy's MP back. Oops. Yes, I do want to stay. I do want to stay. I do. All right, the item shop here. Let's talk to the NPCs of the town. And they're pirates, so we're going to give them a pirate accent. The ship heading out of our little port will take you straight to Poft. The Empire hasn't attacked Paloom or Poft. At least not yet. Bafsk, Salaman, once you pass Poft, they say all the cities are under the control of the Empire. Now there's a fine lass. How about you and me go have a drink? With you, not a chance. This is Paloom. It's just a little port town. Let's see. The magic shop's where we want to stop first. And there's probably some magic here I want to get. Let's see what they got. Ah, yes. Cure, Blink, Protect, and Shell. Blink I'm not so concerned about, but I do want Protect. And I do want Shell. And we want to teach those to Guy. So Guy is gonna be kind of like a monk in this playthrough, but he's also gonna be kind of like a he's gonna be like a white mage monk. He's going to learn all the white magic we want to use, as well as being a fist bro. So he's like a fist mage. I like it. Guy almost always ends up with the most HP in any playthrough you do with this game casually. Guy is going to be the one that ends up with the most HP, so I gotta like making him a monk, because monks are known for having a high HP stat as well as fighting with their fists and having high strength, so that's kind of my inspiration for what I wanted to do with Guy. Firion starts out with a sword and shield, so might as well make him like the warrior / knight of the group. Maria starts out with the highest intellect, so it's obvious to make her the black mage. That just goes hand in hand. Now the fourth party member is going to be rotating throughout the entire playthrough. Right now we have Minwoo, but there will be others that we acquire along the way. Let's check out the weapon store, see if there's anything good here. Got a dagger, a mace, an axe, a bow. Yeah, not really concerned about any of that. The armor shop, we are going to rarely ever use any armor in this game. In fact, let's take a look at Minwoo's equipment. We could probably just remove Minwoo's equipment, give him the staff, just because, whatever. Let's see, actually the staff raises evasion. Yeah, that's what I thought. But lowers his attack, which is hilarious. I mean, like, the most powerful weapon in this game are fists. Honestly, they're cheap, you never have to buy anything for them, and you can level them up just like your weapon, so... yeah, I mean, why not use your fist? Honestly, you could just have everyone just use their fist and never use any weapons in this game. That's just how broken the mechanics of this game are. Alright, let's go ahead and... actually, you know what? Did we explore everywhere in this town? There's this guy here. Oh, that's right. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we do have to do something else first. The item shop. There's no items we really need. Actually, you know what? How much are Phoenix Downs in this game? How much do they cost? So we got high potions, cost 150. Eye drops and antidotes. Don't really care for any of that right now. Maiden's Kiss, Golden Needle. We'll need some of those eventually, but not right now. Phoenix Downs are 500, so they are a little bit expensive, but not as expensive as the regular game. But look at this. Elixirs you can buy, but 50,000 gil for one elixir. Holy cow. Ethers, I believe, are toned down a little bit. They're 1,000 gil. I want to say that they were a lot more than that in the original game. Yeah. Phoenix Downs are expensive for us now, but eventually we'll be able to purchase some of those. We don't even have to really worry about Phoenix Downs at the moment, though, because we got Minwoo along with us, and he is the OP White Mage. Oh, that's right. We have to pay for the boat. So we got to get the boat to go to the next town, but we have to pay 32 gil for a fare. So there we go. Now we just go and get into the boat. And it will sell us on to the town of Puft. And here we are. This is the port of Puff. Salamand is to the north, and to our east, Bafsk. Let's check out the pub. And in the pub, Bafsk, the city to our east, is under the control of the Empire. They're building something terrible there. Bafsk, the city to our east, is under the control of the Empire. Oh, that's what the other guy said. I think all these guys say the same thing, yeah. Yep, except for this guy here, who is Sid! This is the first game Sid appeared in. Hey, what's up, Lowless Rex? How's it going? Sorry I didn't notice you had made a comment in chat, but welcome to the chat and welcome to the stream. Thank you. Thank you. You here to ride the airship? Okay. Wait, we gotta give Sid a cool voice, right? Let's think. You're here to ride the airship? If you've got the cash, there's no place I can't take you. So let's learn the keyword airship, and let's ask him. You want on the airship? You pay the guy behind me. Yeah, he knows nothing about Mithril or Wild Rose. Can I interest you folks in a ride on Sid's Pride and Joy, the only airship of its kind in all the world? No matter how far, we'll take you to your destination in the blink of an eye. Of course, transportation of this fine caliber comes at a cost. Interested? Not right now. We'll come back. Have you seen the airship? It belongs to a fellow named Sid who lives right here in Puft. He's the only one around who can fly it. Let's see what they got in the weapons store. Anything good? The same stuff they had in Paloom. Which Sid do I like the most? Which Sid do I like the most? There's so many good Sid. Final Fantasy VII Sid's pretty... Gotta be high up on the list. FF7 Sid is pretty amazing. Just because he's such a colorful character and uses a lot of colorful language, if you will. But yeah, he's really fun. I also like Final Fantasy XII Sid a lot too. He's the only bad Sid, if I remember correctly. Yeah, FF12 Sid is really, really awesome too. Absolutely insane character in that game, and if you've never played 12, you should play it just to see how they portray Sid in that game. He is absolutely insane, but like in such an awesome way. And I'm pretty sure the Final Fantasy XII Sid is the only bad Sid in the entire series. All the other Sids are good guys. Also, Final Fantasy IV Sid is pretty fun too. I wouldn't say... the Final Fantasy VIII Sid, that's another good one too. It's the Robin Williams Sid, I like to call him. I think a lot of people call him that. Like, Robin Williams could have totally played that Sid if they made a Final Fantasy VIII a movie. Which is funny because there's a lot of really cool things about Final Fantasy VIII. And Sid is one of them, but like this game, the battle system's absolutely broken. Okay, yeah, same magic they had. Yeah, I think they have all the same things in this town as they did in Paloom. Puft and Paloom are like sister cities. Pretty much the same armor, the same weapons, the same magic. They just have a pub with Sid. So yeah, I guess we can go ahead and pay. If we have enough gil, we can go ahead and pay for some air travel. We got 355. How much does it cost to get to Salamand? We want to go to Salamand for 200, so we got enough. Hey, thanks, buddy. Their ship will be waiting for you outside. Yeah. I think just like this game, I think the first time everybody plays 8, you don't really understand how the mechanics of the game work. That leveling up is absolutely unnecessary. Like, you never need to gain a single level that entire game. Everything is just based on junctioning. Like, leveling up only makes the enemies harder. That's all it does. Because the enemies level up with you. But, I mean, it's a good idea to level up because then you get higher level spells you can draw from the enemies. But yeah, Final Fantasy VIII's battle mechanics are just a mess. Not that it's not a fun game to play, because it is. All Final Fantasies to me are fun to play. And eventually I'll get to 8 and play it on stream too. And we'll talk about how broken of a game it is. Because oddly enough, it's even more broken than this game. If that's possible, but it is. And I actually would rank 8 higher on my list than this one, for sure. As far as enjoyability. Although I have fun every time I play this game too. Holy cow, look at all the goblins. Yeah, you love the system in 8. It's fun to mess around with, that's for sure. And it's definitely unique to that game. There's nothing else like it. Yeah, the drawing of the magic is very boring and monotonous, for sure. But then there's the card. I mean, the first time you play it, you don't understand about the card game and modifying cards, so you don't know how to do that the first time you play the game. But you go back and you read about the game and you learn about the card modification system, and you can get lots of high-powered magic really early on and not have to draw as much. And Diablos, yes. The Diablos fight the Diablos beginner's trap that everybody falls into and dies the first time they face. Oh, there's also the thing about 8 where you can just spam limit breaks too. There's that as well. Just attack, I guess. I'm not too worried about Minwu and any of his stats in this game. He's not a permanent party member. Attack Maria. I want her to get some more HP. Goodbye. Furion with some HP and stamina. Nice. HP. Ah, there we go. Maria got some HP. And Guy got some HP as well. And some strength. Awesome. Very good. Very good. We're at another town. So let's check out Salaman, the snow town. Yeah, it's very classic, and it's fun to play, even though it is one of my least favorite of the whole series. It's still really good, and you know what? This is where they started trying to actually write a story and have characters with character and growth. Even though it's not the greatest story, it's pretty good for how early in the series it is. Because after this game, I'd say after this one and then after 3, story really became the central focus of Final Fantasies, right? They focused, because the gameplay doesn't change much from 4, 5, and 6. But the story, the story writing gets better and better and better as we go through the series from here on out. They really tried to focus on telling an epic story. And this is the first one that did it. Yep, yeah, the first 2 are very fun. The original games are really dated, but the Pixel remasters and the Final Fantasy Origins versions on PS2 I recommend highly. This version and the PS1 versions of the game are very good. They keep the feel of the original while just making a lot of quality of life improvements and making the games easier and more fun to play. Not easier as in like the game's easier, but it's easier to play. If that makes sense. The Empires enslaved the men of Salaman and forced them to work in the cave of Simmet Falls. Ooh, you have to help them. You have to help them. Simmet Falls is beyond the mountain range in the south of Salamand. That is where the Empire's been mining its mithril. Aha! Well, now we know where we need to go to get the mithril. Who's this? I love Joseph, but I know that if I'm around, I would just get in his way. Ah, she's a Joseph fangirl, huh? Well, I gotta be honest, Joseph's pretty awesome. One of my favorite One of my favorite characters in the entire game. Joseph is pretty cool. You have business with me? Let's ask him about Wild Rose. You're here for Princess Hilda. A little short in the tooth, aren't you? You kids can't fool me. Mithril, I haven't found it yet. I do have a few leads, but I don't plan on sharing what I do know with a bunch of perfect strangers. I'm gonna need you to do a little something to prove you are who you say you are. There's a bunch of people from Salaman who are being forced to work in the cave at Cement Falls. Rescue them and we'll talk. So he knows about Cement Falls, but he only has a few leads on Mithril, which is Cement Falls is where they're mining the Mithril. We just learned that from the girl outside. I think he's being purposely vague because he doesn't trust us yet, which is perfectly reasonable. There's a man who knows all about airships, but why should I tell you who he is? Well, we already know who he is because we learned the keyword airship from him. So Joseph wants us to go free some of the villagers who've been captured by the Empire. How's that going to turn out for us? What's the first dungeon in the game going to be like? Surely it won't have a bunch of empty rooms that are absolutely useless. Or will it? Find out in the next one. See you then. Adios, amigos.